Hey, everybody, it's Scott Steen with winnersandwhiners.com coming to you with another week. It is, of course, today in sports betting. Today, we're going to take a look how we did over the weekend, recap all of our all the good news and the bad news, and there was a whole lot of each. And who better to do it with than my the guy that made those picks right there with me. And we'll talk about his picks as well. Happy Monday, Scott. You got your internet working. It's Scott Reichel, everybody. Give him a hand.
It's nice to be here. Unfortunately, when Willie's Wi-Fi started working, he passed down the bad issues to me, I guess. No, but in reality, I had some Wi-Fi issues for a little while, so we had to delay the show a little bit. But I'm finally here, and I'm looking forward to recapping the pretty profitable weekend for the two of us.
Yeah, some of it I'm looking forward to recapping, some of it not so much. You know, I think we should get it out of the way right now. So far, we suck at golf.
I actually was up like 0.18 units in golf. I basically broke even. I didn't think that would happen, but it worked out actually.
You play some matchups there at the last minute or something?
No, in just the plays I gave out, I actually was up like 0.18 units because Answer ended up finishing top 30. So that ended up helping me out. I had some other matchups in the middle of the tournament, which I didn't really post anywhere because I was kind of trying to dabble with golf. I won on the only one I had. I had him over Morikawa, and Morikawa missed the cut, so that was a sweat-free winner. But other than that, though, the plays that we talked about for golf, I basically broke even with some very, very slight profit attached to it.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. And I had the only one I gave out was Dahman to make top 30, and he ended up finishing 20th, so that was all right.
Nice.
And we had Justin Rose and DeChambeau. Justin Rose missed the cut, and DeChambeau had a decent tournament.
My favorite was Justin Thomas. He missed the cut. He was the tournament favorite. He shot a +2.
Yeah, outstanding. That's why golf is so hard, because say what you want about NASCAR, you pick those guys. It's they're never going to miss the cut. So it was a fine tournament. Dustin Johnson really won that one on Saturday. Shot 61 Saturday.
Yeah, I had the DeChambeau against Rory though in a matchup, which helped me out. So that was also one of the plays I gave out on here. So
and that worked okay.
It was close for a little while because DeChambeau was kind of falling apart a bit on Sunday, but he kept it together, and I believe he won by, I want to say 2 shots. I think he finished 15 under, and Rory finished 13 under. So he won by 2 shots.
Very good. And Kevin Streelman was second. So
yeah, he put together a good run. It's unfortunate that Todd pretty much collapsed late. Gordon was pretty good yesterday. He was good. Connors was pretty good. But for the most part, Johnson kind of just took it running, and it was over at that point.
Now, Scott, maybe you help me out here just a little bit. I'm looking at the leaderboard and everything, and I noticed Will Gordon did not receive any FedEx points. Any idea why that would be?
Truth be told, I have no idea.
Okay, because Dustin Johnson got 500, Streelman got 300, Mackenzie Hughes in 4th place got 163, and so on down the list, and Gordon got 0.
I don't know if you have to qualify for the FedEx thing, so maybe he just never qualified for it.
Literally everyone else.
It could be based on ranking. So maybe like the top X players are in the FedEx and others aren't. I don't know, but I know Todd was somewhere in the thousands, I believe.
Todd?
Not Todd. Sorry, I mean Gordon. Gordon was somewhere in the thousands, I believe.
Yeah,
so maybe his ranking isn't high enough to be in the FedEx. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah. I'm gonna have to learn. I'm gonna have to find out about that because literally everyone else that made the cut got points. So
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So that was golf, and the wingman he did okay. He had DeChambeau. Paul Casey did make the cut, and
he made the cut.
Brian Harmon did not make the cut. So, but yeah, none of our guys were actual winners. And then Scott, on Saturday night we had a little UFC, and that was as UFC often is. It was a mixed bag. And we'll start off. We won't do every fight, of course. We'll just do the action that we had. I had a very strong play on Kay Hansen and Jin Yu Fry. and I thought Fry's experience would take care of Kay Hansen.
Oh, is this the I told you so part of the show?
Yep, this is it, buddy. And she looked real good. You know how it works. She looked real good until she
Ran
didn't.
out of gas.
And Hansen was able to submit her there in the middle of the third round. So that one did not go so well. What was the first one that you had?
Truth is that the results for the UFC for me were awful. A lot of close losses here and there. The one winner I actually had on the entire card, I didn't even give out on the show because the line wasn't even up. I actually gave out, or at least I took personal. I took Sato to win by first round knockout. But other than that, the first play I had was I had Zalal over 4.5 takedowns. He only had 2. That was a loser. I had Pena to win by knockout or decision. It looked like he was going to win. He was 1 takedown away from potentially winning. And then as he lunged in for a takedown, he got choked out by Worthy. So that turned out to be a loss, which was unfortunate. Sato, first round knockout, was an easy winner. I found out that Witt took the fight on like 2 days' notice, and I immediately assumed that he was basically just a dead man walking at that point because
Right.
I don't know how you're supposed to win a fight with only 1 day of real preparation. That sounds almost impossible. So I figured he would get decapitated, and he did in about 40-something seconds. The fight was over really quickly. I had Maurice Green to win by decision at plus 420, which was just really, really painful for me to lose. That was really bad. According to all 3 judges, Green was up 2-0 going into the third. He got put on his back, and then somehow Green choked him out from the bottom with what looked like he didn't really do anything. It was one of the weirdest chokes I've ever seen.
Yeah, I agree. I had the over 2.5 there, and I had I had Valente at plus 130. So that did not.
Green decision looks so promising, and then I'm just screaming at the TV, just don't get dropped. You're gonna win the fight. Just don't get put on your back. And Green immediately gets hit by a counter and just gets thrown onto his back. And I'm like, all right, so I'm basically screwed now. Fair enough.
I had a nice price on that Worthy fight, but I had Worthy by KO.
Yeah, well, Worthy by submission was like 17-1. So that really wasn't your fault. So that came really out of nowhere.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, Green by decision at plus 420. That turned out to be a pretty bad beat. I had Allen by knockout at plus 420. That also turned out to be a pretty bad beat. He kneed him in the head in the first round. The guy went down. He couldn't finish it. He knocked him down at the end of the second round, but he couldn't jump on it because the round ended. And then he won by decision. So that was also kind of unfortunate. Perry Gall to end in the first round. Also, that wasn't even that close, to be honest. That fight was pretty interesting. I know Gall wasn't that good. Perry looked pretty good. People are making a big deal about his cornermen and how they weren't there and how he only showed up with his girlfriend. And I feel like people, before even the post-fight speech, simply put, I just don't think Perry could afford all the cornermen, and he just tried to save money.
Oh.
I feel like that's pretty much what happened. That's how I viewed it. Back in I believe it was September, a report came out that Perry was literally just broke. He just had no money. So I'm not surprised that he just decided to leave everybody he had to pay to be there aside, and he just brought his girlfriend out there. That's how I viewed the situation.
As far as his girlfriend's still with him if he's broke.
I don't know. I can't really answer that, but
I had the over there. I had the over 1.5 there. That worked out okay. I did have Allen by decision. That one worked out okay as well.
And then the last fight was an ultimate cooler. I told you about it. I had Poirier by split or majority decision at plus 1683. It's one of the greatest fights of all time, and all 3 judges give it to Poirier. Plus 1683. I thought one judge would go rogue. I thought one judge would take Hooker. I thought Poirier won the fight. So just to be clear, I had Poirier winning 3-2. I thought Poirier won the last 3 rounds. I thought Hooker won the first 2 rounds. But I just needed a draw, or I needed one judge. I needed one judge to either vote draw or Hooker, and it's plus 1683, and I actually make money on the card. and instead I had a couple of pretty bad beats in that card. But the Sato thing, which I didn't even give out on air, is the only play that really saved me.
Okay.
Being honest. So yeah, not the greatest.
All right. Well, you know what? That's why there's another event coming up very soon. There always is in the UFC, with the exception of this week. We don't have any UFC this week, right?
Yeah, it's going to be July 4th weekend, and I guess the UFC decided they got barbecues, so they're just not going to have some fights over the weekend. I don't know. I know boxing's having fights on the July 4th weekend, I believe. So I know that's I can't say all combat sports are taking a break, so to speak, but I do know that the UFC decided, you know what, we're going to take 5, and we'll be back a week later. So
well, they're probably going to get everybody over there to Fight Island because I know the next event's going to come from Fight Island.
Yes. So I
251.
no better way to celebrate July 4th than getting everybody out of the country, right?
Well, see, I think that's why they didn't have the event. You know, you didn't want to come from overseas on July 4th, maybe.
I guess. They've been already planning Fight Island for a while. It's finally here. And you got some pretty good cards on the horizon, so I'm looking forward to going over those in the next couple weeks.
Good. And we also have excitement coming up this week for the first time ever. This is one of the coolest things that I've ever heard of. They're doing the doubleheader at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, with the Indianapolis 500 kicking off, and then followed by the, what is it, Scott? It's not the Brickyard 400 this year. What is it?
It is the Big Machine Hand Sanitizer 400.
That's a beautiful thing.
Phenomenal. That's one of the best names. That's the leader in the clubhouse right there.
I think Big Machine has already paid for their sponsorship on that because nobody's ever heard of them.
I guess it's turned. NASCAR's honestly turning into turning into the bowl games, where you have like the
yes, it is
Gatorus Brilla Tax Bowl 400. It's like, all right, I guess. I mean that works for me. You just go through a bunch of different names for bowls, and there was actually it was a fake mini game trivia thing. I think it was on the event. I think it was on SVP on ESPN a couple months ago or something. They did this thing on where the co-host asked somebody whether or not a bowl game was real or not, and they started like making up names for bowl games, and they were trying to like have the person guess if it was real or not, just because they have a bunch of ridiculous names out there. I mean, I was always a huge fan of the Tax Slayer Bowl.
Sure,
that's a pretty good name.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of interesting names out there, and they're turning into a lot of interesting names for NASCAR races as well. So,
I believe it's the Bad Boy Mowers Bahamas Bowl, isn't it?
Yes, that's also a pretty good one.
Yeah, that's not bad. So yeah, that'll be fun. That'll be a doubleheader there. We'll talk a little IndyCar. Of course, we'll have Willie back on to talk NASCAR, and we'll talk a little bit of IndyCar. But I don't think you were talking about this before the show. I don't think IndyCar's been running this year. I think this is going to be the first race. I have seen no results. I haven't seen them on TV anywhere. I've heard nothing about IRL if they've already run some races. So if they have run some races,
I'm not sure if they've done anything on maybe esports. They've done digital races maybe. I don't know the answer to that. So as far as physical races, I'm pretty sure they haven't had anything.
So basically, I was. How did you end up at UFC? I think I was about even. Maybe come out a couple units ahead.
Oh, UFC, it sucked. Simply put, are we talking about just the plays I gave out on air, or is that including the Sato and first round knockout that I had? Well,
do it both ways. How'd you end up in real life, and then how'd you end up with what you gave out on the air?
On the air, I went over, which is a fun time. So that didn't work out well at all. A couple of really bad beats there. I mean, if Green wins by decision and doesn't choke the guy out by, I don't even know, smothering. I don't know what to call that. That was a free like 2 units right there. The Allen knockout was close. That would have been another free 2 units, and the split decision would have been a nice 4 units. But one judge did not go rogue for the first time in UFC history. But yeah, I honestly wrote it down. I added it to my total for my overall record. I can't say I really remember what it was in particular, but I'm pretty sure I lost somewhere a little bit less than 2 units, I believe. I think that's somewhere around where it was.
All right. But
NASCAR made up for everything.
So. The good news is we got well on Saturday and Sunday. Scott, I think, safely say,
I don't think we'll ever top how we did on Sunday.
yeah, we will definitely never top how we did. I would doubt that we'll have that kind of a back-to-back streak as we had. Just to recap, you and I, we had Hamlin, and we had Kevin Harvick, and we had Eric Jones.
And how'd the three of those do for the people at home?
Now they did okay. On Saturday, Harvick finished first. Hamlin finished second. Eric Jones got involved.
40th, yeah.
He's actually 37th.
Close enough. All right. He was our Chase Elliott pick of the poker.
He was doing okay. We were running pretty good, and got involved with some lap traffic, and he ended up going to the pits. However, on Sunday we hit the trifecta, buddy. It went Hamlin, Harvick, Jones, 1, 2, 3. In the weird scoring system that I've made up, we got 6 points. That's the absolute best you can do.
Optimal lineups.
Optimal lineup. I would think we will never, ever top that. I don't know. We hit. I hit every prop in sight. I just gave out. I missed because. First day I missed Kozlowski, and over Kyle Busch, and but then we hit.
Busch didn't finish the race, so I think you were pretty safe on that one.
Yeah, and then I faded in real life. I faded Kyle Busch yesterday with both of my top picks, with Harvick and Hamlin. They were both matched up with Kyle Busch and made out like a bandit on that one. So yeah, it was good, bud. It was very good. You had Harvick as the top Ford. You had Blaney over Logano. Of course, this is all Saturday results.
Yeah, for the matchups, I kept all the same props with adjusted lines. So I took the outrights, and I took the top Fords and the Ford to win the race, Toyota to win the race. I took Kyle Busch to win stage 1, which was the ultimate troll job, as Kurt Busch won stage 1, which was pretty funny. And on top of that, I actually added one matchup of my own. I took Bowyer over Bowman at -125, and Bowyer beat Bowman by one spot.
If you saw the replay of that, they were bumping. It was
very close.
All the way down the final stretch.
Bowyer got there.
They looked like they knew they were racing for you.
Yes, and it was a pretty good weekend. Saturday, I made 4 units exactly on NASCAR, and then Sunday, I made 4 units exactly on NASCAR. So it was a consistent 8 units, and pretty good weekend. Yeah, not bad at all. Not bad at all. I hope everybody was able to jump on us and tail us. We basically, between the three of us, we had 4 picks. We had 4 drivers, which is unheard of, and they all did very well. Kozlowski suffered. Yeah, we gained a decent amount of spots on Willie, I believe. At one point, with I think I want to say less than 20 laps to go, we were running 1, 2, 3, 4. Kozlowski was in 4th, and then Kozlowski went to the pits with like 10 to go, I think. Yeah, he ended up having to top off in gas, but I thought that was pretty funny, as we would have hit the superfecta. So all in all, a pretty good weekend. I'm happy with the results. I know you are as well. Anytime you can get out with profit, that's what it's all about. And honestly, Scott, we were kind of due a day. I won't say as good as yesterday, because that's an anomaly, but we were certainly due for a little NASCAR luck to go our way. So, truth is, I actually was going through some of the NASCAR results I've had in the past just to try to get I don't want to say a half-season recap checkpoint kind of situation. Right. I'm curious. NASCAR's been going well for me. So I think so far I've had exactly 2 losing races. And I think we've done like 8 races? That sounds about right. Yeah. Yeah. So I think I'm like 6-2 in terms of profit. Nothing wrong with that at all. Nothing wrong with that. It was a good weekend all the way around, because we talked about a little excitement because baseball's coming back, Scott. It looks like they're really going to do it. Although, who knows with the spiking numbers of the coronavirus in a couple of the states where they're going to be playing a lot of baseball, California, Florida. But we'll see how all that goes, because as it stands right now, we are going to have a 60-game baseball season, and that means you and I are going to handicap it, Scott. We're going to take a look at baseball on Tuesday and Wednesday. We're going to take a look at the East divisions tomorrow. We're going to take a look at the Central on Wednesday, and we'll take a day off on Thursday to do we're going to
No, we're going to do golf tomorrow. We're going to do golf on Wednesday, and then we're going to finish up baseball Thursday, Friday, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So I was
In
thinking,
spite of what I texted yesterday, that wasn't right. But
yeah, just to recap, we're going to do the East tomorrow.
right.
Then we're going to do golf on Wednesday.
That's it.
Then we'll do the Central and the West.
Right.
So and then we'll do NASCAR on Saturday.
Yep. Then we'll do NASCAR, and maybe throw out a couple of favorite picks on the IRL. We'll see what the odds are up on that. So it's going to be a fun week, man. It's going to be weird with no esports or German soccer, but you know what? I'll try to get through and just talk about baseball.
Well, German soccer, the league was pretty much over from the get-go, but Bayern, the season's officially over. Bayern officially finished 1 goal short of the all-time record for goals in the league. And somehow Lewandowski, Bayern's best player, finished the season with 32 goals. I'm not even sure how the hell you score that many goals in domestic games. But Bayern, pretty good team. That was my takeaway for the Bundesliga. Bayern, pretty good.
Pretty good. That's good. And we got EPL that's going to be continuing.
It's also officially over, though. I mean, you still have some stuff about Europa League and finishing top 4 and the relegation, but Man City lost to Chelsea, which actually clinched Liverpool's title. So that's also pretty much done.
Congratulations to the Liverpudlians for their victory in the EPL. That was good. I'm glad they got to finish the season because that was heartbreaking for fans that hadn't won one of those in 30 years, and then to have their season cut short. So.
Heartbreaking for bettors if you had money on Liverpool and it would have got canceled.
Also true. So, all right. So it sounds like a fun week. Sounds like a fun weekend. And yeah, that was ripping it through. You got anything else?
For the most part, not really. Pocono, you hated the track. I have a feeling it warmed up to you a little bit over the weekend.
You know, it was. I'm not gonna complain about anything that made me money.
That's how I feel.
Still not races that I love watching, but you know what? It's a lot different when your guys are the ones that are out in front and nobody's wrecking. You know, when your guys are running 1-2, you don't mind a boring 20 laps at the end there with no wrecks and no strategy. And
it was nice to be 1-2 for once and not have both of my drivers crash by Chase Elliott bumping into them on the side. That was nice to not be a thing for once. That
was a no sweat Saturday, Sunday for both of us. So
it really was. It was a matter of, what happened on Saturday? Oh, it's Harvick and Hamlin. All right, let me check Sunday. Oh, it's Hamlin and Harvick this time. Okay, right. Way to change it up. All right, cool.
Well done, boys. Well done indeed. All right, well, Scott, nice week. I hope we can repeat and throw some good baseball stuff out there, and maybe even hit a golfer or two somewhere in the head. So we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah. I know that I personally have to go through the actual field on the tournament for Wednesday because I can't say I'm not familiar with who's going to be around for the golf tournament, especially with the whole COVID stuff. I don't know if Koepka's going to be back for this week, as far as I know, he's negative, but his caddy's positive. So there's been some interesting stuff with that. But, yeah, looking forward to breaking that down and look forward to talking about some baseball tomorrow.
Excellent. All right. Well, thanks very much for helping me break it down, Scott. Appreciate it as always. Thanks to each and every one of you who checked us out today and maybe even made a little money. If you backed us on NASCAR especially, maybe even a little sprinkle on some of the golf plays, you made a little money. So we hope you did well. Let us know. Drop us a line in the comment section. Tell us how you did this weekend. Tell us who you got for the upcoming baseball season. This should be fun. Take a look at. Scott and I will be back to do that tomorrow. Of course, don't forget to check out winnersandwhiners.com and statsall.com. Great daily content. And we're just getting wound up here with all of the sports coming back. So make sure you check out them on a daily basis. All right. So for myself, for Scott Reichel, for all of us over here in Winners and Winers, we appreciate you guys stopping by. Of course, couldn't do it without you. Good job, everybody. I told you we'd be patient. We'll get to sports. We'll get to the Big Four eventually, and it looks like that's going to happen with baseball. So congratulations on your patience. Way to go, everybody. I think we're about to be rewarded. Fingers crossed. So until tomorrow, we'll be back to talk a little baseball. You guys take care. Have a great day. Stay safe. If you make any plays out there, I hope you hit them all. And, yeah, we'll wind it up, and we'll do it all again tomorrow. All right? You guys take care. Have a great day. Bye-bye.